welcome to the Redbird Redzone podcast. My name is Jackie. I will be kicking us off in place of Will, who will be joining us shortly. You can find me on Twitter at jsandiego. I am also a contributor of AZ Sports Underground and Let's Talk Sports. And I am joined by my co-host, Mac. Go ahead and plug yourself, Mac.
Yo. Thanks for joining us. I guess you can find me on Twitter at AZ Sports Fiend, FIEN. And apparently I got an IG, so if you're on there, it's all AZ Cards, FN. So yeah, let's kick it off. What a hell of a game that we had. Too bad Will's not here. What's Will doing? Is he watching wrestling with his boys right now, or what?
He's probably watching wrestling, picking his nose, writing fan fiction. Who knows? But Mac, first and foremost, what were you doing when the comeback happened? Where were you at?
Oh, I was halfway sloppy drunk in my living room, screaming at the top of my lungs. I couldn't believe it. I had my fiance's family was over too. They were helping her paint, and I'm like, nah, it's Sunday, okay? I'm not painting shit, okay? Sorry, I love you, but so by the end of the game, her whole family was watching it, and they don't really watch sports, but we were all celebrating together. What were you doing? Were you working? Tell me you weren't working.
So I was working, came home. So I usually get off work around halftime. And I thought, I am in no fucking hurry to get home to watch the doom and the gloom. So let me go to the store, get a 6-pack of beer, something potent so I can drink my sorrows. Come home, started watching it, and then I went live with Joe of the Cardinal Rule. He goes, let's jump on at the 2-minute warning. So I'm
Yeah,
like, okay.
what was that vibe like?
It was awesome because the whole time I was not expecting us to come back. And I just kept telling
Right.
myself, like, okay, don't get your hopes up. Like,
They needed everything to
know,
go right. You know what I mean? Yeah, I feel
yeah,
you.
just so like don't get your hopes up. If we lose, like, just the effort of the comeback, like that's enough to hang your hat on. So I go live I jump on with Joe. We were getting ready to go live, and then overtime happens, and we're all watching it together. So we're
Nice.
like cheering. I probably like blew out their eardrums because I'm like yelling, pumping a fist. And then I was so nervous that like I don't like to be drunk when I'm on his channel, like how
Right.
I am
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I like to sound smart. But I was just so nervous that I was like really pounding those beers. So like halfway through that live stream, if you go back and watch it, I'm like slurring my words. I'm like so embarrassed. So
Well,
I apologize, Joe. I'm typically not a drunk rambling idiot unless I'm doing this show.
what are you talking about? Are we not professional on here? I mean, you have a Big Dick Player of the Week award for Christ's sake. Well, come on, what else more do we need to get a sponsor? Let's
Right.
go.
Castle Mega Store off I-17 in Deer Valley. Please sponsor me. Let me be queen of the castle.
Bobby, edit that out. We don't want to get sued. So yeah, no, we don't. Yeah, I mean, what more can you say other than thank you, Kyler Murray? Holy smokes, did he bail out Kingsbury and basically this team in general with some of those fourth down conversions and what was that, 20 seconds running around for 85 yards? Like that's unheard of. I don't that's it's just kind of just blows your mind and to think it was a game where if you lose and go down 0-2, you got the Rams on deck. Going down 0-3 and just the way, like you said, the way the first half was going, it was just not a good feeling. All the tweets out there. I didn't even see this, but Juan, I hope Juan's in here. You said Juan ate his shoe? Juan ate his
Juan ate
shoe?
his shoe.
What
So
the
Juan,
fuck?
we need to get you on the pod. I need to know about the shoe story. I need to know how that shoe tasted. And I even said myself, if the Suns get KD, I'll eat my own socks. So like now I really have to eat my own socks if that ever becomes a thing. Like in
Next
solidarity of Juan.
next time, just drink a beer out of the shoe.
There
That'll
you go.
suffice. Yeah, yeah. But shout out Juan. That's some big balls right there to follow through on your word like that. I know some of my tweets too are just I know everyone had them for the most part.
Yeah.
And I tweeted at halftime. I'm like, Cardinals just need to throw this fan base a bone. Everything that we went through this offseason, you know, with football culminating, finally starting up, it was like, okay, this is a fresh start. It was a tumultuous kind of off season. It was just we felt like we were in the news for all the wrong reasons, whether people were blowing it out of proportion or not. We were still, it wasn't still great pub.
No.
And that's, the third quarter, the way the third quarter started, I believe we did a 3 and outers. We only ran a few plays. I don't know if we got a first down. But it was the defense. Shout out to the defense for stepping up and holding the Raiders to only 3 points in the second half. That was the catalyst. Yeah.
Holding Devontae Adams to 2 catches for 12 yards with his grandparents watching. Oh my God.
Shout out Byron Murphy and fuck PFF. Couldn't even say those 3 words. What do they grade him as? Like a 50 something? I know I was taking a look at his QBR rating and what PFF does. I know everyone's like startled, like, well, why is it like that? It's because he gave up a touchdown. So they skew it so bad if you give up a touchdown, if you have a penalty. So I like going by QBR, and I believe it's QBR. I was looking at it earlier today. It was in the 80s, which is great. I mean, that's
That's a
solid right
B.
there. Yeah, and then when you incorporate that it was against Devontae Adams, he was shadowing him for I believe 75% of the snaps. I believe I saw on Twitter. That's magnificent. That's exactly what we needed. And I know a lot of fans. I feel like a lot more fans recently have been talking. Oh, if we could just move Byron Murphy to the slot, that's his role right there. And it's like, did we not watch him through the first half of last season? I thought he'd turn into a legit CB1. And yes, he's good from the slot,
Play
but
man.
when your next guy is Trayvon Mullins or Marco Wilson, and those guys have to be against Devontae Adams, no, 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 no. I want Byron Murphy. He's by far the most talented guy we have in that cornerback room. You have to put him on someone as elite as Devontae Adams. The Raiders aren't just going to be flipping, a seventh rounder or whatever they did for Trayvon Mullins, you know, risking him to come be the number one guy on Devontae Adams if they believe that he could shut him down or anything like that. So yeah, shout out Byron Murphy, and he was rewarded with the house call, the fumble by Isaiah Simmons. I see Hunter Renfro's in concussion protocols. Isaiah
Yeah,
Simmons
he
did
like
not.
decapitated him.
Oh my goodness, he laid the wood on that one.
He rung his
But
bell.
he didn't play a lot. Isaiah Simmons, we talked about, last week. We were hoping it could be a bounce back week, and it was. Even though he didn't play a lot of snaps, it was impactful. It reminded me of the Seahawks game. Was that his rookie year when he had that interception? Basically,
In crunch time, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So shout out Isaiah Simmons. Hopefully, he can get back on the field more often. And even if he doesn't have the green dot on him, who cares? Zaven should be the one with the green dot, and he was. And shout out to Zaven. I thought Zaven's played pretty well the first 2 weeks. He's first week I think he got kind of overlooked a little bit because the whole team in general wasn't that great. But I've seen improvements. He's been a really good piece in the run game, and that's something that I was kind of worried about. So yeah, that is nice to see those two guys be fairly impactful.
Absolutely. And I'm looking at the chat right now. So shout out to my boy Ken. He said that this was a redemption game for AJ Green and Isaiah Simmons. And that's true because Isaiah Simmons is a big question mark, and then AJ Green, a lot of people don't even want him here. But he came through when we sure
Yeah.
needed it, and
I
that
mean,
was an insane throw.
oh my God. Yeah, I tweeted out that all 22, the back angle, and that was just a friggin' dime over the defender's hands. But yeah, you don't really see that too often where it was a redemption game for AJ Green in the middle of the game or at the end of the game because he had a tumultuous game. Multiple drops, had a chance to haul in that touchdown in the corner, knocked out of his hands. It was a bad game overall, and credit Kyler Murray for not looking away from him. He trusted him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he came down with the biggest catch of the year. So yeah, he hit it right on. Ken hit it right on the nail, right on the head. Yeah, redemption game for both of them. And AJ Green, that's what you want from a vet or anybody, to see them maybe falter earlier on in the game. And like Isaiah Simmons, you don't get those chances early on, but you come in, you play, 15 defensive snaps, you have multiple tackles, you make a play to help give your team the win. So yeah, that was. Oh, did we need that? We needed that, right? We
needed that. The team needed that. My mental health needed that.
Robert
Like,
Sarver needed that because that convinced him to sell the fucking team. Thank God.
I believe my article that I wrote made him
Yep.
sell the
Shout out.
team. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
Did
But
you write that yesterday?
you know what? I wrote that. I finished it up on Sunday, and I said, no rush editing it because there's a game going on. So
Yeah.
they're like, okay, we'll post it Wednesday, and then I get the Bleacher Report notification, like, God damn it! So I'm like, hey, editor's note, like, please, make this known. I wrote this
Right.
before the fact.
Right. Oh yeah, good timing. There you go. I'm sure Underground AZ Sports is loving it. Oh yeah, good content. Everyone follow Jackie. Follow their account as well. Jackie's doing big things, and I'm proud that we were the first ones to have you on. I feel like you have made us a better podcast. So thank you for all you do for us, me, and what you do for Arizona sports in general. I know a lot of people love your content, and you're a great individual. So shout out to you, and shout out to your pops if your pops is listening. Shout out. I know my parents are listening.
Yeah.
I know both of our pops are going through shit right now. So we're here for you guys. Love you guys. Thank you. Um, Thank you for listening. Yeah.
Yes, I appreciate the sentiment. And yeah, if it wasn't for you reaching out, I wouldn't be where I'm at now with all my little side hustles. So I really appreciate you, Will, and Bobby.
Yeah, I take 10 cents to the dollar. You can send it to my Venmo. That's whatever dollar you make. No, I'm kidding. No, but yeah, keep doing it. You're killing it. So, yeah, shout out to both Bobbles and Will. They got me on here, and yeah, and here we are. Who would have thought? Look at us. Look at us. And just a
Look at us.
programming note. I think we're just going to be going live every Wednesday night on YouTube right here. So hit subscribe. You should get notifications. Hopefully, I don't know. I'm the old man on here, so I don't know how all that works. But every Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. I know it's a little bit early for AZ. People getting off work. You want to eat. I'm over here. I got dinner going to be ready after a podcast. So I got to drink my beers on an empty stomach. But I just think it makes for a little funner night on here with you guys. But hopefully, when the daylight savings changes, we're an hour closer because everyone else, you and Will, are both on the East Coast, so you guys are 3 hours behind. So hopefully, when that changes, we can maybe do 6:30 or 7 without
Yeah, we could do
pushing you
that.
guys back any further.
Yeah, we can do that for faux show. Let's see. I'm looking at the chat. Byron Murphy, great pickup and run. Holy shit. Like the athleticism to like pick up a loose ball like that with one hand and then just take it to the house. Like I'm like thinking logistically, like if I'm trying to like running full speed, trying to pick something up and there's a bunch of big bodies near me, I'm kicking that damn ball out of bounds.
I know,
You know what I
I
mean?
know. Oh no, 100%. And the way he did it, like you see it from the back angle, even it's just so smooth. And I know, I didn't play professional or anything like that, but even when you're just balling with your friends, you're shooting hoops and you're kind of in the zone and you're just hitting everything. Everything kind of slows down to you. So I imagine as a professional athlete, when you're lined up and you're shutting down Devontae Adams, you're kind of in a zone right there. Sometimes you hear from the great athletes, "Oh, I was in that zone. I slowed it down." And that's why some baseball players are so good in the clutch. They're able to basically lower their heart rate. And just from rewatching that, it totally looked like Byron Murphy was he didn't miss a step or anything like that. He just swooped it up, like you said, on one swoop. And then he outran Adrian Wilson down the sidelines. And that was a beautiful sight. Yeah, love seeing A-Dub getting into it like that. That was much needed. That was a needed win for this franchise. And that definitely could be a season turning type of win so early in the season, which is kind of what makes this game against the Rams so critical. You kind of want to ride that momentum a little bit. The Rams have not looked amazing. They let the Falcons hang in there to the end last week. I believe they won 31-27. We saw, what happened week 1. And so they're definitely gettable. And that could be a big momentum, shaker for the division. You win this game, everything is kind of right in front of you so early in the season when you're missing two of your top 3 wide receivers in Rondell Moore and DeAndre Hopkins. It looks promising is what I just want to say about the future. If you can get this win, especially get the 2-1, and I think that's all what we're kind of hoping for. Kind of ride this wave right now. And who's to say anything? Nobody thought we'd come back and win that game. Nobody really thinks that highly of the Cardinals in the long run this season. But if Kyler Murray, what he showed on Sunday, is anything that he has in store for us, how determined he is to show how much of a winner he is, and he's going to do anything in his power to bring this franchise a title. It just kind of gives me chills thinking about it right now. How that one moment in that game changed the whole perspective of this early season for the Cardinals and what it can mean moving forward.
Absolutely. You ride this momentum, you take it in the next game, and you go in there and you fucking kick the Rams in the teeth. Yeah, because everybody thought we were down and out, and I love reading like the cold takes like on Twitter, like first half, and even before the game when Devontae Adams was like, "Oh, my grandparents are going to be there." Everyone's like, "Devontae Adams, 250 yards."
He didn't have 4 catches.
Over. Yeah, not even. He had 2 catches.
No, I mean, you can make a whole account on that Arizona Sports cold takes. I think Joanna, shout out Joanna. I don't know if she's listening to that, but I know she was doing that last year, and that got kind of popular. People were sending cold Arizona Cardinals takes. Yeah. That was pretty fun. So, yeah, I know I have some of them as well. Nobody's deleting, who gives a fuck? I mean, that's how we all felt at the time. And honestly, that's how they were playing. And I mean, it kind of is what it is to be able. But I mean, you have to go back to the defense though. That was the one side of the ball where it almost felt like we were going to lose that game no matter what in the first half. It's like, well, the defense couldn't stop Kansas City all week 1. They haven't been able to slow down the Raiders even in the first half. And for them to come out and make some changes, and I imagine Vance Joseph probably threw it, kicked the water bottle cup or something like that or two. But whatever they did, shout out to them for being able to hold the Raiders for, under 250 passing yards and at 80 rushing yards. And the Cardinals had 51 plays in the second half. And that's what happens when your defense can get off the field and give this offense the ball as often as they did.
Yeah, it was crazy how, it just seemed like halftime a switch had flipped. Vance made all the right adjustments. I mean, you have Byron. Byron needs to be shadowing the wide receiver ones. Even if we don't think that Byron is like a Patrick Peterson level of a shutdown corner, that seems to be more effective than these soft zones for sure. I still hate the soft zone, but we were able to come out with a win.
And hey, how about DJ Humphries? He fucking shut down Chandler Jones.
Yes, that was going to be my next thing. Our offensive line is pretty stout when Pugh's in. DJ Humphries is.
Will Hernandez has been a great addition.
Will Hernandez has been a great addition. I mean, I think at the beginning of the game, I think the emphasis was all right, we can't let Chandler Jones get a sack. So then it allowed Max Crosby to get loose. And then they kind of tightened it down in the second half and gave Kyler all that time. And we saw what, Kyler Murray do Kyler Murray things.
Yeah, and really the only leaky thing that I've been kind of seeing these first 2 games, aside from Sean Harlow starting at guard last week or in week 1, is Kelvin Beachum. He hasn't been at the level he was, especially at that first year. So that's just something to keep an eye on at right tackle, which is I know what we talked about with Josh Jones looking so good in preseason. I wish he just would have had reps over at right tackle as well. I mean, you just extended DJ Humphries, so he's not taking DJ's spot anytime soon, but he got the majority, if not all of his snaps at left tackle in preseason. So that's kind of something I wish we would have seen, because at this point, I think it might be a toss-up. Josh Jones might be a better starter than Kelvin Beachum. It's not as easy as it seems to be able to switch from the left side to the right side. It would have been nice to see him get some reps in there. But that's the only thing. I mean, we haven't been hearing. I mean, Justin Pugh, the way he was calling, he was doing cadences. If you rewatch the game, you
Mhm.
can see he's the one looking back at Kyler, and when the offense is set, he turns around and he slaps Rodney Hudson on the leg. And I think a lot of that was due to the crowd noise, because Rodney would basically snap it. It would be like a one count after that to let
Mhm.
Pugh get set, and then he'd snap it. And I think that was kind of offset the crowd noise. But you can only do that with a veteran next to you. And
Yeah.
for Pugh to come in there, and he did not miss a beat. I was not worried. I was more curious on how he would perform. Not getting really preseason reps, and first week was inactive. But he stepped in there, and you could tell he was. Rodney Hudson was happy to have him back, because I know when Rodney was playing with Sean Harlow, there's a lot more pressure coming up the middle. I know Rodney kind of got some heat from some fans and people who analyzed the game a little bit. He didn't grade out very well. I'm not sure what he graded this week, but it was smooth sailing with Pugh back there, and that was beautiful to see. And I know Kyle Odegaard tweeted something out yesterday that DJ Humphries is the only tackle or maybe left tackle in the league to not give up a pressure so far this season, which is kind of remarkable considering how often Kyler was pressured week one. But it just shows to the development and growth of DJ Humphries, and he's playing like a captain, and that's why they drafted him where they did. 5 years ago now, 6 years ago. So, shout out to him, and basically neutralized Chandler Jones into what we saw most of Chandler Jones last year, fairly non-existent. So,
Yeah, Raiders fans are in shambles right now.
are they?
I was reading through a thing that said thoughts on Chandler Jones' play so far, and everyone's just kind of like, why? Why? So they're in shambles. So yeah, it's a good
I'd
thing.
be in
Hard
shambles
feelings.
too. They were.
Yeah.
You're winning the game, and you're going out here and freaking Josh McDaniels is calling 3 passes in a row, and you're wasting less than 30 seconds on the play clock to give the Cardinals the ball again. I'd be heated too if I was a Raiders fan right now. We talked about it week one. Josh Jacobs had what 13 carries or 10 carries, and that was in a fairly close game. So we
Mhm.
knew we talked about going into this game we could get them you know um, off balance, one sided, passing the ball, which is kind of our MO when we get down in games, it feels like. But Cliff did a great job. And James Conner going down, Darrell Williams filled in miraculously. Makes you wonder why he didn't get more reps week one. But for
Exactly.
the Cardinals to be down the way they were and to finish the game with 143 rushing yards, and Kyler finished with 28 of those. Kudos to Cliff for sticking to the running game, and not getting too scatterbrained. And one thing that I said on Sunday, and I know I tweet a lot of shit out during game days, and I look back afterwards and I'm like, oh god, that was fucking stupid or something. But one thing that I truly believe in that I tweeted out late in the third quarter was that this offense just looks so much better in no huddle. Whether it's Cliff not overthinking it, whether it's Kyler, feeling more free, or what, I don't know what the case is. This team, the offense in general, definitely looks so much better when they're up tempo and have momentum. Um, but we have to kick the penalties. I know we had 12 penalties last week. You're not going to win a lot of games when you have 12 penalties like that. And where we have 17 on the season, which is third worst in the league. I believe we have the second most penalty yards in the league. You have to clean that up if you want to be one of the best teams in the league throughout the season, because you're not going to get you're not going to be facing Josh McDaniels that many more times, uh, down the road here to kind of hand you a chance to let Kyler Murray win the game. So that is the one thing that I'm a harp on. You win the game, but not everything was perfect. Um, and I'm going to chalk up the first half, the first 6 quarters of the season. I'm just going to say that was our preseason. Okay,
Okay.
cut that shit out, and now we're here. We're ready to go. We're 1-1. I got the biggest test of the season, obviously, right now, right in front of us. So, preseason, quote unquote, is behind us. In my book, in my brain, we had a full, healthy offensive line, and hopefully, I don't know. Did you see the injury report today? I know a lot of guys had days off, and I think most of them were kind of like veteran days, so I'm not too worried right now. But were you able to check out the injury report?
I didn't see the injury report, but I'm hearing Connor is day to day.
Okay. And
We'll see what that means because in Cliff
right.
Kingsbury, day to day is, they're probably going to play or be out for the whole fucking year, heading to
Month
IR.
to
So
month. Yeah.
yeah, month to month. We'll see.
Right. But
Um,
oh,
but
go
we
on.
have
Sorry.
depth enough to the. Sorry, no, I was to say, I'm not too worried about the Connor injury because I liked what I saw from Benjamin and Daryl Williams. So
Pretty
I
good
think our
combo.
run game that is a good combo. I mean, I know James Conner's special skill set is, he's your first down runner. Like he'll get you those yards, but I'm not too worried about that.
Yeah. No.
Um,
It seems pretty clear that Daryl Williams is like de facto backup to James Conner, and it was hard
yeah.
to read. I mean, throughout the whole preseason, I'm like, okay, is Cliff playing coy with Daryl Williams? He's 1,000 yard back last season, total yards, and you have him in this offense, and everyone in preseason is like, oh, he might get cut. We're not seeing much of him.
Hmm.
And then he doesn't play week one, and it's like, okay, like what is going on here? And then when James Conner goes down, it seemed like Daryl basically took those reps, maybe a little bit less, and then Eno was basically RB2, if that makes sense. He kind of gave a breather to Connor or Williams. But it was nice to see Daryl Williams went out there and he had some fresh legs, man. I
Hmm.
From the clips I remember him with the Chiefs, he didn't look that explosive, but he was running hard. So Cardinals have a seemingly pretty good running back room. At least a three-headed little monster right
Monster.
here, and then you have Keontae Ingram, just the little fetus growing right now, developing his little monster head. So yeah, no, it was good to see. And one thing I think a lot of people forget about it is Zach Ertz. He's that safety blanket. He didn't play a lot week one. He still finished with a touchdown, couple catches. Week two, we saw him come over here and lead the Cardinals in catches and yards with 8 receptions, 75 yards. And now, as a Cardinal, he's caught 68% of the passes. It's like 68.8, so actually 69%. Nice. Of the passes since being a Cardinal. And then going back to his Eagles days, I think he averaged like lower 60s. So it is pretty obvious that Zach Ertz is really that security blanket for Kyler, and he doesn't drop passes. So it was huge to have him out there.
Yeah.
Marquise Brown, he should have had that fucking touchdown. I don't know how
Oh
that.
my god. I was ready to run him out of Phoenix. I was ready to jump on the first flight to Phoenix to fight him in the parking lot of an Applebee's. It's all good. We live
well,
to
that
see another day.
well, that one-handed catch. That one-handed catch was filthy. I mean, I don't know how
Oh
that
yeah.
pass even got through and how he even caught that. But to see him kind of be a little bit more involved, that was nice to see. I'm still expecting a bigger game here. Maybe not against the Rams. Maybe. I don't know. I'm sure. What's that
He's
jerk off's
due.
face? Yeah, is going to be on him. But Greg Dortch came in, another 4 catches, 55 yards. He's now caught 14 of 16 passes in his career for 87.5%. And I posted that today, and Bo Bobbles, our editor, shout out Bo Bobbles, he responded. He said, "Fuck that." He said 15 for 16 because he said football move because he should have been
Oh
credited
yeah.
with that catch. Yeah, Sunday. So yeah, shout out Bo Bobbles there. But yeah, it was good to see all the way around. There's 9 guys who caught passes for Kyler. So he doesn't have his number one and number three wide receivers right now, but he is getting by and he's making do. And a lot of that is due to the Cardinals' offensive line as well. They're giving him, time, and when they're not, he's improvising. I mean, I think the sky's the limit moving forward once we get some of these guys back.
Absolutely. I mean, the decision making skills in that second half were top notch.
Oh,
That's always something I'm always concerned about with him was the decision making or if he can read the defense effectively.
hmm
Um, but I really saw him step up, in that fourth quarter and just really command the field, telling guys where to go. And I think it's more so just so he can open up like a running lane for himself. But very smart to just settle in, scour the field, and then know where you can run it, where you can throw it.
Yeah, when it's amazing when he's not getting pressured all the time, he can actually sit back there,
Mm-hmm.
and it's any quarterback, any young quarterback, you're getting hit all the time, and you don't like getting hit. You're not that big of a guy. It's gonna mess with your eyes, and the biggest thing as a quarterback, you got to keep those eyes downfield. But if you're feeling pressure right off the bat, which Kyler did a good job. We talked, the kind of the blueprint to get to Kyler is hit him early, and I believe
Hit him early, hit him
Crosby.
often.
I
Yeah.
believe Crosby had that sack early, but the Cardinals did a good job. They ended up, keeping him clear off of the two edge guys, Crosby and Chandler Jones. I know as much as Chandler Jones is kind of what he is right now. I think a lot of us kind of still had a thought. It's like, okay, this is going to be a kind of interesting game. How is he going to do?
Revenge
Revenge.
game.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was good to see the offensive line settle down, and give Kyler that time, because when you give him that time, man, there's really nobody better, because then if you give him that time and he doesn't see anybody, he's going to burn you 15 yards with his feet because all the guys are downfield defending. Or if you give him that much time, he's going to direct, his guy like he did with AJ Green, go, go left, throw a little dime right there. So you give him time. Great offensive line, and even an average defense, this team's going to win a lot of games. So hopefully that defense can keep it up, especially against the Rams this week. Hopefully he can hit Stafford, early and often. They didn't get the car as much as I think a lot of us probably hoped,
Or
but
would have liked.
yeah, but Carr. I know Devontae Adams said he went from one Hall of Famer to another.
It's cute.
Yeah.
It's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're gonna tell your girlfriend that, she's prettier than all your exes. So
Right.
it is what it is. But yeah, I'm not a big believer in the Derek Carr led Raiders anyways.
Right.
And I feel like their front office, how the teams ran, they're a little questionable. Their intelligence is a little questionable to me.
Their
Surprised
integrity
Josh
as well.
McDaniels was making some boneheaded plays.
Yeah.
Just I feel like that if I'm thinking about it on the flip side, like, how did you guys let us come back? Like, y'all should be embarrassed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
And then shout out to the people, the jackasses popping champagne
oh,
in the third quarter.
yeah. That was probably all the Cardinals needed to see. All Kyler Murray needed to see. Oh, okay. Okay. But yeah, shout out
Yeah,
to them.
save me some champagne, bitches.
Shout out to Josh McDaniels, not committing to the run. We thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you for not wasting clock. But also need to give a shout out to Zach Allen and JJ Watt. Zach Allen, I think the first half he was kind of invisible, it felt like, but the second half he was a disruptor. So it's nice to see. The biggest question mark with him is always, kind of staying healthy. So to see him hopefully keep developing, I feel like he has developed each and every year. When he's on the field, he's progressing and being a little bit more dominant, and then you can line him up kind of across from J.J. Watt, and you got these, two white boys coming at you. But J.J. Watt coming in second play of the game, making, making his name felt, hitting Derek Carr, and he also had some good plays in the run game. Rewatching that, I didn't remember initially, but he was a disruptor to where even if he didn't make the play, they ran to his side. He's creating a double team to force a guy inside or outside. So it was nice to have him in there, and can't say enough about Zaven Collins too, playing his role, staying in his lanes. So it was definitely beautiful to see. We all think Kyler, the world of Kyler, and that he can lead this team to a championship. But nobody can lead this team to a championship with the defense that we saw week one. So as long as this
Mhm.
defense can, create enough, not even turnovers, but just get off the field more often than not and give Kyler the ball back. Because that's what a lot of offenses are going to try to do is try to keep the ball out of Kyler's hands. And I think you kind of saw that from, I think Andy Reid and the Chiefs did that magnificently. So hopefully that's the case where the defense, keeps growing week by week, and Kyler can lead us to the promised land. This city is desperate. This state is desperate for a champion. I don't know about you. I know I sure the fuck am. And I believe in Kyler. I believe, I do think there are some holes on this roster that, when you have an elite quarterback, that maybe sometimes they can elevate the whole squad a little bit. You know me. We've been on here, and I've always said it's kind of overrated to have leaders. If when your quarterback's not a leader. If everyone believes in your quarterback and your quarterback can be that guy, which I think if you talk to anybody, even his harshest critics, I think a lot of people say Kyler Murray's body language is better. The way he's, presented to the media after that loss week 1, it was more of a vibe of, we got this, just, clean up our shit and move forward. And it just seems like he is being that leader. And when you have that number one guy in front of you, that quarterback, because these guys know. We talked about it with the 49ers, with Joe. Shout out Joe, Cardinal Rule.
Hi, Joe.
Where the 49ers with Trey Lance, do these guys really believe in him? Because these guys get paid to win championships, and that's their goal. And not all these guys are guaranteed next season. It's like, when will that chatter in the locker room start developing because they don't believe in Trey Lance? And I hope Trey Lance has a full recovery moving forward, and we're not going to see that scenario that you proposed where they lose the first 3 games and he gets booted. But even someone as Jimmy G, these guys in the locker room, obviously, like, okay, he's taking us to a Super Bowl, another NFC Championship game. And I mean, the 49ers have leaders all over the field. They're deep everywhere. But that's just kind of a microcosm to when you have a young quarterback and when guys can fully believe in this guy and buy in everything he is. And, like, if you're a Cardinal and you haven't bought in to Kyler Murray after what he did Sunday, you shouldn't be on the team. And just that fact alone, that he can will you to a win when nobody thinks it's possible. It just seems like he's even elevated his status on and off the field so far this season, which is a beautiful sign.
Absolutely. I mean, he doesn't have to be the Friday Night Lights, motivational speech, like kind of quarterback. Like, show me what you can do talent wise. We'll worry about the rest later. Like that all will come with time. But if you got a guy like JJ Watt that chose to come to Arizona for you, like, that speaks volumes.
Yeah. And JJ Watt, it's like, okay, JJ, he's obviously, when he's in the game with Zach Allen, he's gonna push Zach Allen, and I'm sure Zach Allen's learning from him. And in a way, he really is a leader, a big leader of this team. But when you're not on the field all the time, you can't really lead from the sidelines. You got to have somebody there in the, in the trenches with you. And I'm not saying that you can't have, you don't need any leaders at all. I'm just saying the aspect is a little overblown, I feel like, in football when it's such a quarterback-driven league, more so than any other sport and any other position, I believe. But to see Kyler, I mean, nobody can talk about, being grumpy cat so far, even through the first 6 quarters when they weren't, looking that great. He obviously believed, and it is obviously reflected. Maybe he was the one who fucking kicked the water bottle or the Gatorade jug at halftime and threw some shit.
Broke the tablet.
Because he played like in the second half. He played, with his hair on fire. So, ooh, that was a good Michelob Ultra burp right there.
What you drinking?
Michelob Ultra tall can, yeah, nothing crazy. What you got? What you got on the docket?
Oh, I've got me a big old Guinness Extra Stout,
Woo!
and then I've got my next one on deck. It's a Northern Lights IPA, local beer here, so I'm getting a little loose.
Okay, I was gonna say, and shout out to any of you guys tuning in right now, if you guys missed it, we're gonna start going live Wednesdays at 6 o'clock until the time change happens, daylight savings, and then we're gonna jump probably to 6:30 or
6:37ish.
7. Yeah. But we thank you guys for being on here, and if you guys are Patreon subscribers, you'll see Jackie sucking toes, you'll see Will wrestling his buddies, and
Jack
me.
shaking his junk.
Me, we'll go have a beer together or something. But no, for real. I know we've never really um, asked anybody to like the show or subscribe, but we do appreciate it if you do. You'll get alerts and whatnot when we're going to be jumping on. So we do appreciate it. Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it's an exciting time. I mean, the way we feel today compared to the way we could have felt after that game, it honestly just feels like almost a sense of relief to be 1-1 at this point.
Yeah, I feel like, the playing field's even. Now, moving on, we got the Rams. How do you feel going into next week's matchup with them?
I feel good. I don't think they're as good as last year.
Yeah.
You win a Super Bowl, you kind of have a hangover a little bit. They're dealing with obviously Cooper Kupp. I mean, you have to contain Cooper Kupp. The dude is their offense for the most part. And we saw Byron Murphy shut him down the first time we played him last season. So we need more of that. But I don't feel like a lot. I'm listening to the radio, and these guys are like just making it sound like these Rams are,
Still the Rams.
they're just like that much better than we are. I didn't see them do anything this off season to scare me. You lose Von Miller. Von Miller's been a force with the Bills. OBJ's not there. You add Allen Robinson. That's still up in
Who's that
there.
old ass bald guy that they had that they lost?
Whitworth, the left tackle.
Yeah.
Their offensive line's not as good. I think Darrell Henderson's a decent back there. Cam Akers, he's still kind of growing. But they don't seem like that juggernaut to where, I'm scared of them, right? I feel good about us going into this game. We'll see what happens because we don't tend to play good at home for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully, I mean, if you can't ride this wave of momentum into this week, then momentum isn't a real thing. Fuck it. Like, whatever. But I do believe in momentum and little things in the season. Not that, winning that game was little by any means. But in the grand scheme of things, it could have an overwhelming impact. And I expect this team to actually come out and play a solid first quarter or first half, but especially first quarter, for the first time in seemingly a long time. It's been a few games dating back to last season since we've seen that.
Yeah, I think Cliff and Vance Joseph need to wake up Sunday morning, open up their closet, find their smart coach pants, make sure they are pressed and clean.
I was waiting to see what you were going to say. I was waiting.
And coach your fucking ass off because I think we can take, at this point, we cry for Kime to get fired because he hasn't picked up anybody. But at this point, unless a key injury goes down, this is the roster we're rolling with. So we gotta play to everybody's strengths, and we gotta coach our asses off. We gotta come up with a scheme where we know each guy's skill set. This is what we gotta do. This is our matchup. This is what needs to happen. We gotta execute. You coach your ass, and you gotta play chess against Sean McVay because that's the only person on that Rams team that scares me is just Sean McVay. He's had our number. He's a solid, he's a solid coach. Everybody else can have a shit game, but he will find a way around it.
And honestly, I feel like if we do, let's say, get blown out, it's also not the end of the world. We blew them out early in the season last year. They're like, okay, sure, cool. We still don't have our 2 out of our top 3 wide receivers. But I'm not expecting a blowout. I do think this team is, they felt something. When you feel something, you've been beaten up for so long and 6 quarters, you've been looked at and you feel like shit, and then you realize, oh, okay, like the light kind of turned on that halftime in that
Mhm.
second half, and specifically that fourth quarter. I do feel like this team has another level that they're going to get to on Sunday, and I'm excited for it. And even if we blow out the Rams, I'm not going to get too excited. I know it's probably a slim shot, but at the end of the day, it's a week 3 game. We do want it just to be as competitive as possible. From a Cardinals standpoint, going up against a team that's pretty healthy, if you can go in there and even if you don't win the game, it's not the end of the world. You know, I said enough bad tweets for the first 6 quarters of the season, um, that it's this season kind of just has a little bit different of a feel right now. You're almost working backwards, compared to what we've been doing the last few seasons, where it's kind of felt a little bit easy early on in the season. It's you put in the work now, you're gonna, it's gonna pay off in the long run. So, um, hopefully we can come away with the dub and make it 2-0, against former and current Los Angeles teams, I guess. Since the Raiders used to be there, I don't know. I'm like 4 beers deep, whatever. But yeah, no, it's
Whatever. Fuck the
exciting.
Raiders.
I'm ready for this team to go out there and show what they can do. It's an exciting time to be a Cardinal fan with Kyler Murray locked up for a long time, and um, just this team in general to where they have grown each of the last 3 seasons. We're all expecting better, and anything less than playoff victories, it's kind of a waste of time at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think what it come is going to come down to is max effort on everybody's part, because that's what happened in that fourth quarter. Everybody put in their max effort, except for the hands of AJ Green for like a play, for Hollywood for a play. But that's besides the point. Max effort. Kyler needs to be Kyler. Offensive line needs to allow Kyler to be Kyler, and the run game to be established. And then defense, it's crazy when on like the statistics that I've seen that we've had some of the best pass rush. And it's true, like yeah, we were able to get past some of the offensive linemen, but we're not able to get home. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping this is the game that we can actually get home and we can hit Stafford early, often. I would love to see a game, and even if we don't win the game. Obviously, I want to see us win the game. But if we don't win the game, I would like to see us, put Stafford in the ground a few times.
Yeah, yeah,
That
get
would just
three,
make my
four,
day.
5 sacks. And the one thing rewatching that Chiefs game that I didn't realize, initially, was how often that our guys did beat their man, at the point of attack in the trenches. It was
Mhm.
just Patrick Mahomes was on a
It's
whole
Houdini.
nother. Oh,
Yeah,
he showed why he's the best quarterback in the NFL,
yeah,
hands down. I thought he made it a case. He's going up against his former head coach in college. He wants to make a point. You know what I mean? That game meant something to him, and they came out and they outclassed us. Oh, no doubt about it. This week, I don't know if we pressured Carr as much as we probably would have hoped. But
mhm.
I was surprised as well to see that we were up there at pass rush win rate. Was that an ESPN ranking?
Believe so. I see a
Yeah.
lot of statistics. It's hard to keep track. I got them bookmarked, but I that had jumped out at me as like our pass rush statistically. They have a high win rate, but we're not actually getting home. We're getting
Which
back there. We're
you
just not fast enough.
and I didn't necessarily see that against the Raiders too much. But I mean, those guys are professionals. They, create that, artwork and everything like that. And if that's the case, then sooner or later, you do think that pass rush is going to at least get to the quarterback if you're doing it consistently enough. And I know, like, I've been pretty impressed by Dogby. We talked last year how we thought Dogby should be getting more reps.
Yeah.
Zach Allen, second half of that game, you watch Zach Allen, he was beating his guy a lot. So I did see that. I agree with that. Same with J.J. Watt. Derek Carr missed a lot of. I know towards the end in OT they tried kind of feeding was it the end of the fourth, maybe early OT. They tried feeding Devontae Adams a couple times, and Derek Carr just totally blew a pass to him. He was open too. And you could just see, like, rewatching it. I had to rewatch it again. You could just see Devontae Adams shake his head and kind of look to the sky, like, "Oh God,
like,
really?"
I miss Aaron Rodgers right now.
Right? I mean, it worked out good for 1 week, but yeah, I mean, there's you can dwell on the first half, um, which where there's no reason to anymore. I mean, we see what we need to see so far. Just keep this thing rolling right now.
Yeah, I mean, I had like a list of complaints that I wanted
Yeah,
to
so did I,
file,
but yeah.
police report, whatever. But once we started to once the gears started turning, we flipped the switch. I,
Kind of
shredded
all
my list. And I
forgiven.
thought, yep, like all is forgiven, all is right
Yeah.
in the world.
Just do it
So I
again
do
next
have,
week.
yes. So I do have to award a big
Oh
dick player
yeah.
of the game. And I'm going to give it to a member of the Cardinals group chat that we have on Twitter, my boy Jesse.
Well, Jesse.
Shout out Jesse, because when everybody was dooming and glooming, he said, "You guys are annoying. Shut up. Game's
Nice.
not over. This is only the first half." And then he said, "Kiss my ass" or something. And he
Nice.
posted a picture of his butt cheeks.
I missed that. I don't.
And then he said that if we score a touchdown, I'm gonna post nuts. And he posted not a naked picture of his nuts, crotch shot. But no,
You're telling me we're not professional on here? Sheesh.
no. I mean, so shout out Jesse, but no, my actual big dick player of the game, I'm going to award it to Mr. Kyler motherfucking Murray.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Shout out Kyler for just maximum effort, playing your ass off, and showing the haters, the fans,
Letting that big dick
why
fling.
you got paid.
Hey, he scampered on those 3 legs to the end zone. He pointing that motherfucker like,
Legs.
"Gotcha! Giddy up!" He's motherfucker skipping with his third leg into the end zone. Hey, do you have an app for Jesse? I think. I don't know if you're able to
Jesse
find it.
Quintana.
Jesse Quintana.
Quintana. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I know we both follow him.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's good that there are Cardinal fans out there who aren't just doom and gloom all the time. So, Jesse Quintana, shout out to you. Kyler Murray, shout out to you. My 3-legged racehorse. I'll never bet on anybody else, Mr. Murray.
Hells no.
Keep
But
calm and Murray on. You think that'd be a decent shirt?
yes.
I know.
I
I
need
was
one.
thinking it. Okay, I was thinking it.
All right, maybe
Bobby, edit.
maybe
Oh fuck, we're live. I was gonna say edit it out. Nobody steal this. But how many people we got? Like 7 people in here. Okay.
Maybe we'll
Joe, you better not steal that. No, I'm kidding. Love you, Joe.
Yeah, Joe.
Shout out to
Maybe
Joe.
we'll make a t-shirt.
Had him on. Talk about the season preview. He stayed on with me for about an hour at least afterwards, and talked to me. Kind of, let me pick his brain and everything. Kind of see what his inspirations were, and kind of gave little advice, so to speak. Because I mean, we're all doing this. We're all we're all a community here. We all like to support each other, and the more content, the better. I believe. That's kind of my thought.
Yeah.
Is I feel like the Phoenix Suns Twitter has a ton of content out there, but Cardinals not so much on Twitter. So I appreciate Joe sticking around, talking to me, and chatting it up a little bit. I really appreciate it. And who won that week? Was that Bo Bobbles? Sorry, Joe. I think you finished second or third in pick'ems that week. I have them here somewhere. But Bo Bobbles won week 1 and Will won week 2. So we need to figure it out. I think if it's just me and you doing pick'ems this week, somebody has to win, right? We don't have to take Bo Bobbles picks in. That's fine. We don't. We'll just keep it between us.
Bobby. All right. So I have the games pulled up here. So if you could be so kind as to let me know what Bo Bobbles picks. Will unfortunately has not jumped on with us, so we don't know what he's picking.
Yeah.
So
I'll grab.
lick my nuts, Will.
Hey, he's wrestling, dog. Come on. If you're on Patreon, you can watch him wrestle right now live.
Yep,
Okay.
he's oiled up, naked, and ready to go.
I don't.
All
If
right,
you're,
all right, all right.
yeah, yeah,
If
yeah,
you're still
yeah.
listening, I'm sorry.
We thank you. No, we thank you. Hit subscribe, hit like. We love you guys. Hope you guys are able to enjoy the show with a cold one. If not, shout out to you for being sober and being an Arizona sports fan. That's not the easiest thing in the world to do these days.
No, Arizona sports has driven me to become an alcoholic, but it's all good.
Hey, but you're a better mom. You're a good mom, so it don't matter. You could drink on your nights off. You're good.
Yep, once that kid goes down, that's when the bottle's open.
All
All
right,
right,
let's giddy up.
giddy up. We got Thursday night football tomorrow. We got the Steelers and the Browns, a divisional matchup in the AFC North. Who do you got, Mac?
Oh, I drafted the Browns defense in fantasy, thinking they had a couple easy weeks against Carolina and who was it, the Jets.
What?
That did not go good. So I am going Pittsburgh out of spite.
You're going the Pittsburgh Steelers?
So is Bo
Okay.
Bobbles.
And Bo Bobbles. All right. I am also going to go Steelers as well. I'm not a believer in this Browns team. They just let the Jets come back on them. Which, by the way, crazy that 3 epic comebacks happened all on one day.
Yeah, what was the stat? Did you see the stat for that at all by chance?
The last time that happened was in 1992, I believe, and it was also the Cardinals, the Vikings, and the Broncos.
Really? Damn.
Yes, and I believe we are tied with the Broncos for most overtime wins at 28.
Hey, get us in overtime. You know, we're a fucking juggernaut.
Hails, yeah. All right. To kick off your morning games on Sunday, you've got the Bills and the Dolphins. Who you got?
It's a good matchup right there. That Miami offense is looking pretty explosive right now. But I'm gonna go Buffalo. I think they probably have the better defense overall.
What about Bobby?
Probably pick the Bills as well.
I am going to ride the Tua wave, aloha, and go with the Dolphins.
Aloha. Nice.
Aloha. He's from Hawaii, right? I'm not being an idiot.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Dolphins it is for me. And then sadly, we've got the Bengals and the Jets.
You know what? Oh, I can't believe Joe Flacco carved up the Browns like he did. I want to go Bengals, but I need a win. Or I want to go Jets, but I need a win in this. I got to go Cincy.
Bobby.
Bobby's going Bengals as well.
Okay. This is very tough for me because
Love your Jets.
I love me some Jets for
Paid
whatever
off for you
reason. God
last
knows
week.
why. But I also love me some Bengals. I love me some Joe Burrow. But I think the Cinderella story of the Bengals has expired. The clock has struck midnight. They've turned into a pumpkin. I'm going to stick with my Jets. Jets.
Nice.
All right. We got Raiders and Titans. Titans are not looking very good this year.
Oh no, they look awful, but Josh McDaniels, I
It's
can
also
you believe in
awful.
that guy? Yeah.
And what
Mm.
Titans are 0-2, right?
So the only what Will say? Will put something in the chat. The only AFC South team to have a win is the Jaguars right now. Pretty
Holy
embarrassed. Yeah, the Colts look like shit too. I am going to go Raiders. They've had a couple close games. I think maybe they pull it off against kind of
beating up Titans.
yeah, Tannehill.
What's Bobby say?
Bobby is going Raiders as well.
Yeah, I gotta go Raiders. This will probably be a get right game from getting fucking embarrassed by us.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, and Titans got embarrassed as well, so maybe a little tie. How about that?
There you go. Another try.
When we did our season predictions, when I picked the Cardinals 10-6-1, I thought we were out. That tie was for sure coming to fruition on Sunday. I was like, holy shit, it's about to
Oh,
happen. And they fumble. I was like, oh.
even better, even better.
Oh,
All
fuck
right,
yeah.
we got Saints, Panthers. Who do you got?
Bobbles has Saints. God. I'm going to go Carolina. I think Saints are overrated, even though I don't. Yeah.
I gotta go Saints. I don't believe in Carolina. I don't believe in Baker. Yeah, it's more so the coaching though too. I'm not a big. I know Will
Oh,
likes to
Matt
talk
Rule.
shit about
Yeah.
Matt Rule. Like he just has the biggest hate boner for Matt Rule. But I kind of agree with him, not to the extent. But yeah,
Hate boner. That's a new one. We need to come up with like a terminology list on here. Redbird Redzone
well,
podcast. What is a hate boner? And we have our own little lingo.
it's when you hate something so much it gives you a boner. I don't know.
All right. I
All
think as
right,
long as Christian McCaffrey's healthy, I don't feel too bad picking them, Carolina. So you never know. So I'll pick Carolina.
Joe says the Redbird Redzone lexicon. Yep.
There we go. I like it. Get Joe on. Get Joe more liquored up. That was a good
Yeah,
time.
come back,
That was a good
Joe.
time. That was
That
probably
was a
my
good time.
yeah. That's probably my funnest one so far. Um, Shout out Juan if Juan's listening. We just talked about before the episode. We need to get you on. Um, Hopefully mid-season we're gonna contact you. But yeah, you've been there since day one. So shout out anybody still listening right now. We love you guys. Appreciate it. Patreon,
Yeah.
Jackie Toes. Yep. There we go.
Yep. Send me money so I can get a pedicure. We got Ravens and Patriots. Who you got?
I think when people are sending us money, they want to see you get you sucking toes. They don't want to see your toes getting done. But yeah, I'm going New England. I'm going. God, the Ravens defense, man. New England's awful too. What am I doing?
I think I have the Ravens defense in one of my fantasy leagues. God damn it.
I
But
drafted them one too. I had to drop them real quick. But Wallace picked Ravens. Okay.
okay.
Yeah, Jackie, yawning in my ear. We gotta hurry up if you're yawning already.
No, I'm sorry. All right. You know,
Oh, good.
I'm
It's
gonna
like
say
10
the
o'clock over there.
Patriots.
You're good. You're good.
I'm gonna say Pats.
New England. Okay.
Who you got?
I got. Nah, I'm gonna go New England. Unfortunately,
Okay. Okay.
Bo
All
Bob's
right.
got Baltimore.
The contrarian. All right. We got Lions and Vikings. Ooh, this might be a good game because the Vikings weren't the Vikings that we thought they were. Lions are starting to get a little hot.
I like the
Amon-Ra
Lions.
St.
I
Brown.
like the Lions offense. Yeah, the Lions team is a likable bunch, personally. So I'm gonna go Detroit. Bo Bobbles is going Detroit.
I will also go Detroit, and this reminds me, I got to stop leaving Amon-Ra St. Brown on my bench because he
Girl,
went off for
what?
40 points.
Yeah, what are you doing? Who are your other options?
You know who I who did Robbie Anderson? That's who I started above him.
He's with Carolina, right?
Yeah, he had a really solid week one.
Yeah. You got to get St. Brown in there. That guy is a
He's gonna be my
jewel.
flex. Yeah,
Yeah. Do it. Do it. Do it now.
do it. Okay, we got a divisional matchup against the Eagles and the Commanders. Who you got?
Got to go Philly. Offense is looking pretty good. AJ Brown's been a pretty nice addition. They're being
Yeah,
able to
Philly.
run the ball a little bit more than what they did in the past, it seems like.
Yeah, I think the Eagles will win the division for sure. So I'm gonna go Eagles as well.
Yeah, unless you believe in the Giants here. Giants are 2-0, I believe.
Oh yeah, the
That's
Giants
crazy.
are a dark horse.
Will, maybe Will just has a, yeah.
What does Bobby say?
Abe is going Philly as well.
Okay, Philly across the board. So we're all gonna lose. All right, this is gonna be a bloodbath. Chiefs and Colts.
I mean, how can you go Colts? It's got shut out by the Jags.
It's kind of a shame because the Colts seemed like a team that was like trending upwards of the last couple years, despite Andrew Luck retiring, and then now they've just gone to shit.
I find it hilarious how a lot of people are like, "Oh, the Colts got Matt Ryan. They're a Super Bowl contender now. He's gonna lead us." Like, what? Did you watch him these last 2 years? Like, his arm is just not, what it once
Fucking limp
was.
noodle.
Yeah, I mean, they missed Michael Pittman last week desperately. They couldn't
And
run the
your
ball.
wide receiver one is Michael Pittman.
He's good. I mean, he's young, but yeah, I mean, when you lose someone, like Michael Pittman, or when you even just lose a second year player in general, and he affects your team that much, it's not a great sign.
Yeah,
But I was
so
going Chiefs.
I'm gonna go Chiefs.
Cool.
You got Chiefs too, or what?
Yep.
All right,
Sorry.
all right. This one's interesting. We've got Texans and Bears.
I'm going Texans. I don't.
I too am going Texans. I think Davis Mills might actually be a stout quarterback.
He's
And
shown to be at least average, which, I
yeah,
mean, that's, if you can be average in the NFL, you're doing something. I mean, considering they weren't expecting much from him last year to earn the job like he did. So shout out to him. And I think that, I like the Texans more. They were able to get rid of Deshaun Watson. I know, they don't have Bill O'Brien there, so they're not, I don't feel like they're that, lovable loser type of feel when you got Bill O'Brien running everything. I think they're kind of a team that I kind of root for on Sundays. It's weird. Maybe it's because I got their rookie running back, Damian Pierce, and I just want him to get more touches. But yeah, get more touches to him, throw to Brandon Cooks, and we're good. My fantasy team will be good. My fantasy football team has been awful. Awful. We won't even talk about it. If you're still
okay.
here, go to Instagram and see my Arizona Cardinals fantasy, all AZ Cards FN, even though my teams are awful. But yeah.
And he posts a thirst trap every now and then, so feast your eyes of eye candy.
Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm also gonna say Texans. Who's Bobby got?
Chicago. Good, mix it up. Let him take the Bears. Take Justin Fields and your wide receiver one. Who's their wide receiver one? Mooney. My brother. Shout
Darrell
out Derek if you're
Mooney.
still listening. Bitch. Mooney got negative 4 yards last week or something.
All right, we got Jags and we got Chargers. Who you got?
Jags. I saw something about Christian Kirk that all of his catches this year so far have been zero tight windows. So he's getting open. I don't know what he did in the offseason. He's not throwing rocks at cars anymore. Good for him. But it's kind of hard seeing him being so successful there. But I'm not rooting against the guy. Like, other
Yeah.
than facing him last week, in fantasy, I was freaking ripping my hair out. But, other than that, good for him. That the Jaguars needed somebody to kind of rely on, and I feel like he's kind of like a young and newer Marvin Jones. And Marvin Jones, is kind of in his heyday back in the day, a little bit kind of a shorter guy, kind of make you miss. But no, he's shout out Christian Kirk. He's doing work over there, and he's earning that money. I don't like rooting against guys, unless they're
Talking shit.
they're just you know assholes in general. I don't think he's an asshole. He went and got the money, and so far he's living up to it. So good for him. I am gonna go Jags. Fuck it.
Okay, yeah, get your paper, boo boo. But I have to say Chargers. I love me some Herbert.
Yeah.
It's just so dreamy. All right, who's Bobby got?
Bobby obviously has a Charger, so I have to mix it up. I feel
He too thinks Herbert's dreamy. I see you.
Yeah. I feel like Chargers are always good for like a friggin' little dumpster fire once every 4 weeks or something.
Yeah.
Whatever. It makes me feel better saying it out loud. So.
Hopefully that dumpster fire comes when we play in them.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Yeah.
Touche.
All right. We got Packers and Bucks. Ooh, Brady versus Rodgers.
Ah, hate boner. Ah!
Insufferable.
Oh man. I'll mix it up. I'm gonna go Green Bay. I think most people are probably putting their money on the Buccaneers, but Aaron Jones was a one-man wrecking crew last week. Keep it rolling. Big Aaron
Yes,
Jones
my
fan.
fantasy team,
Nice.
thanks you.
Oh, yeah. Obama's goes
um,
Tampa.
Joe, the Cardinal rule in the chat says they ended in a tie. But you know what? I would
Ooh,
love that for that to end in a tie, but a
you
tie at
see
0.
3-3.
Oh yeah, 3-3. That would be awesome. No, but Tom Brady is Tom Brady for a reason, and I feel like Aaron Rodgers has a hay boner for him for that reason. So I gotta go Tom Brady
Well, I'm
in
gonna
the
write
Bucks.
down. I'm gonna write down Joe says tie in that game though. GB.
If he
So
calls, if it
yeah,
ends in a tie,
yeah.
then we gotta send Joe like a prize. Picture
Fine.
of Mac naked.
Joe, don't.
My
That's
feet.
only for premium Patreon subscribers, Jackie. How many times do I have to tell you? Jeez.
Sorry. He says, oof. Is that an excited oof or is that like a disgusted oof?
His wife is gonna beat your ass. She's gonna beat my ass. Fuck. I'm sending Joe.
Okay.
I hope you're drinking on
Before we
something,
get
Joe.
Joe
I
in
apologize.
trouble, moving on. We
At Tampa
got
Bay, sorry, right? You got Tampa?
I got Tampa, yes.
Oh,
All right, we got 49ers and Broncos.
Broncos, man. That's probably been the most least impressive team that had hype other than the Colts so far. But they are, what, 1-1, so
Russell Wilson,
49ers,
man.
yeah.
What's going on with him?
I just can't pick the 49ers right now. I am going to go Denver. And you know what? Sometimes it takes time. Remember when Carson Palmer came here? It took him 8 games to get adjusted. NFL playbooks are intricate. I know a lot of people think, oh, he's going to pull Tom Brady. No, probably not. I
But
don't think
their
his.
coach seems like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I don't think their head coach is anywhere near the level that Bruce Arians was, and Bruce Arians knew, like, okay, this is the
They've
guy
worked
that's kind of
together
lead me.
before.
Have they?
Well, Russell Wilson and Carson Palmer, I think. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
What do you mean they work together?
No, I'm never mind.
All
For
right,
some reason, I thought Bruce Arians was a part of was a good coordinator for somebody, but
I
now
need
it's
what you're
Pittsburgh. Not.
smoking and drinking on. Okay, I need whatever you're drinking on.
I'm drinking holy water. I found Jesus during this pod, and
That's
now I'm never gonna drink again.
that is what Cardinals podcasts are good for. You always find Jesus. Win, lose, find Jesus. You have to get by somehow, even with the
Either
way
way,
we are. Okay, I am
either
going
way,
Denver though.
I unfortunately think that the 49ers will take this one.
You need more alcohol. Fuck holy water.
Seriously. Who's Bobby got?
Denver, of course, his hometown.
Oh yeah, loves some
Yeah.
Broncos.
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
okay, okay. We've got Falcons, Seahawks. We got Suck and Stink.
Suck and suck harder. I am going to go with suck Atlanta. So I'm going Atlanta wins.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go Atlanta. I feel they're due for one.
And so does Bo Bobbles.
All right. We've got a So 49ers or Broncos is the Sunday night game, so snooze fest.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got an interesting Monday night matchup in Cowboys and Giants.
I am gonna ride the Giants wave for Will since he's not here. Go New York, go New York, go!
Go! I am also gonna go New York, go New York, go! And say it's the Giants.
Yeah,
What about Bobby?
Will's going Giants too. He's living vicariously through Will, or Will's living vicariously through him. So we're all going Giants. Damn, how that goes.
Yeah, I can't in good faith pick the Cowboys to win anything. Which brings us to Sunday, September 25th, 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time. We've got your Arizona Cardinals and the Matt Stafford-led Los Angeles Rams.
I just say this is the first time we've done an episode just us, right? Or a full episode.
I think we did one live like last year. I was pregnant.
Okay, so you're sober. Okay.
Yeah, so I was sober. That's why I remember.
Okay. Shout out. It doesn't feel like we've been running over an hour right now. So, I know we've been kind of winging it. We both were.
We have no notes. We've just been running on fucking prayers.
Hey, we've been running off. Yeah, as a Cardinal fan, yeah, you got stuff deep down inside that you just remember after like 3 beers. Oh shit, we didn't talk about that. So yeah, shout out to you guys listening to us.
Just a couple of drunk rambling idiots running on hopes and
dreams. This is like exactly like the bar room when you guys go to sit down at the nearest bar next to you and they're talking about the Cardinals. This is hopefully kind of what you can kind of lean on. Yeah, you can say, oh, remember my barroom Cardinal fans over here, Jackie and Mac talking about this. But yeah, shout out to you, Jackie, for hosting it for an hour 20 minutes without notes. You're gangbanging this episode. I love it. But
hell yeah, let it swing.
I am going Cardinals. I think I have to go Cardinals here. At home, you ride this momentum right here. I know we haven't been great at home, and the Rams have had our numbers a little bit, but Rams have showed to be faulty this year. They've showed weaknesses. Cardinals coming off a big win, a big high. You come back here and you kind of ride the momentum. I expect from the first snap, I expect a better team than what we saw during either the first quarters of the season so far. So I'm expecting it right off the bat. I would love it if we could pull away, kind of like we did last year, week 4, I believe. But I'm not sure that will be the case. So I'm going to go 26.
Ooh.
23 Cardinals.
Okay. I'm going to be a little bold and adventurous.
Okay. Let's go.
I'm going to say, obviously, it's the Cards. I'm going to say 27-14.
I like it. This D stepping up. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Shut down Cooper Kupp, man. And Byron might have been the last cornerback to shut down. I'd have to look. To really shut down Cooper Kupp. Last year, you look at his numbers, that was one of Cooper Kupp's worst games of the last 2 seasons. So, if he could do anything like that, they're going to be targeting him. What's the average? Like 15 targets a game so far right now. They're going to go after him. He just shut down Devontae Adams. So why not, no time to waste right here, so to speak. Let's bring on Cooper Kupp. Let's get this thing rolling. Let's shut him down. Make Byron Murphy a household CB1 name, and shut down all the talk about him, being a slot moving forward. I want to see it. I need to see it. You shut Cooper Kupp down, this offense is not very good. What are you going to do? Tyler Higbee us to death all the way down the field? Go fuck yourself. Cardinals win. Bo Bobble's got his Cardinals 31-28. Oh, all three.
A little bit of a closer game, but you know what? Fucking Cooper Kupp, Menstrual cup, red solo cup. I don't care. Card by 13. Yes.
Nice. That's a good way to end it. I love it.
And I think that at that point, cut me off. This has been another episode of the Redbird Redzone podcast. Thank you for everybody for hanging out with us in the chat or who will listen to it at some point in the future. My name is Jackie. You can find me on Twitter at jsandiego. That is 2 O's, writer of AZ Sports Underground, contributor of Let's Talk Sports and Joe's After the Game post-game show on the Cardinal Brule YouTube channel. All of the shit I just plugged.
Look at you. Look at you. What up? Thank you guys for joining us. I'm Mac. You can find me on Twitter occasionally. I've been trying to stay off it a little bit. It's just a little toxic. I used to fall down that rabbit hole way too many times. But I do have a lot of good follows, so shout out to you guys if you guys are tuning in. I appreciate it. You can find me on Twitter at AZ Sports Fiend. That's FIEN. And go Cardinals, baby.
Yes, go Cards, and then I guess Will never jumped on with us, but you can find him on Twitter at Live on That Swing. This has been an episode of the Redbird Redzone podcast, a Max Hall production. Peace!
Bye.